Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Recruitment Uncensored. You should all know me by now. I'm Kate. I've got an amazing guest on with me today. I've got Holly Langley of Restack. Hi, Holly.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank
I'm
you for
actually,
having me.
before I forget, going to put your YouTube channel in the comments because myself and Holly, we're both YouTubers. Holly's got a brilliant channel, so I'm going to put it straight in the comments now. Definitely go and give her a follow. So today we're talking all about how recruitment tech can grow your business. So really focused chat today, but Holly shares loads of content, a lot around LinkedIn as well. So definitely give her a follow for lots of free tips and guidance. So I wanted to get you on because I'm not illiterate with tech, but I'm not tech savvy. So we were talking before we went live. I know it's awful, guys, but I've never used ChatGPT. So I'm
Yeah.
not the person to come to when it comes to recruitment tech, you know? So I thought I need to get you on to cover off the subject. So I'm going to go straight in with the first question because I know we've got loads to talk about. You're with agencies all the time, right? So like what are the biggest problems you see recruitment businesses face, or what's the biggest problem?
So the biggest problem, without a doubt, is the lack of maximizing the CRM. So no matter what CRM you are on, there are features within it that are designed to help you for business development or candidate attraction or compliance. And time again, day in, day out, it's just not being used. And this is a really big problem. And actually, to go down into this even further, the problem is that the sales team, the lovely consultants who are using this day in, day out, don't actually know what the features are. So let's say you're buying a new CRM in your business. Who would probably have those demos? It would be what, the CEO, maybe marketing, maybe operations, maybe the head of sales. Very rarely is there a recruitment consultant on those demos. So then what happens is you get the product and the training is organized by that same group of people. And then the consultants get a couple of hours training, and that's it. And then, yeah. And then in 6 months' time, there's going to be a new recruitment consultant who isn't going to get that same level of training they originally got. So they get a really watered down version. And then the same process continues. So over sort of months and years, the database usage goes down dramatically, which is not what we want. And I've literally just got off a session with a client this morning, and I was teaching people who've been in the business for 7-8 years using the same CRM, a different way to search for candidates. And I went in and I said, look, we're going to search for 2 ways. We're going to search by category and like the business sector, and then we're going to search by job title. And I could literally see them sitting there like, wow, why have we never done this
Mind
before?
blown.
And I was like, this is really simple stuff. And it really frustrates me that just people are not using the CRM to its full capabilities. And on top of this, we've just had a lovely conversation about spreadsheets, haven't we? And Kate, briefly talk to us about some of the spreadsheet issues you see.
So I'm not against spreadsheets because I use it for my own. I've got a business development target list. So when I'm training people, what I'll say is, right, put this key info in a spreadsheet, but it's got to go in the CRM. You can't have a spreadsheet you could be trying to get into a client for a year. You can't store a year's worth of notes of all your conversations and your outreach. And also it's not linked. So, with my CRM, for example, it's linked to my emails. So even if I send an email through Google, it goes straight into my CRM and I can track things and set reminders. So it's not, for me, it baffles me because some agencies spend so much money, it's an investment, but then they're not utilizing it fully, and then it's just sitting there not being used. So yeah, I'm really, anyone that I've trained knows I'm really anal about admin and putting, if it's not the CRM, it doesn't exist.
Exactly. That's it, right? Like, if when was the last time, here's a fun action point for you on your CRM, go in and have a look at the total number of live vacancies you have open. Go and have a look at the total number of leads you have open, and go and see how many like temporary workers you have out at the moment. And is that in line with actually what you think? So I was on site with a client a few weeks ago. I said, right, so you've got 400 vacancies. And they went, no, we've got about 150. And I was like, okay, just to let you know, your database says you've got 400. So which one is it? And then it was, oh, well, the sales team weren't closing their jobs. This happened, this happened. And then 3 weeks later, I had a conversation with them on Monday. And I said, right, so you've got 97 live temps. And they went, no, we've got 83. And I was like, okay, you've got to get this information up to date. You've got to use this, and you've got to have that single source of truth within your CRM. And that's how you're going to use it. So yeah, so the biggest problem I see recruitment businesses facing is not using that CRM in the right way and not treating it as a single source of truth. And the best thing you can do in your business is try and overcome that and really start using it. No matter what CRM you're on, just please use it.
If you haven't got a CRM, please get one because you need it.
And there's loads of options. Like you could pay hundreds of pounds a month for a CRM per person, and there are ones out that they're a lot more cost effective. Just choose the right one for you. Don't base it all on price. Please don't just go for the cheapest one because it's the cheapest one. But there are loads of options that vary depending on your price point. So give that a go and just try and get everything logged, because it does make a difference. But most importantly, like we're talking about the long-term nature of your business. If you wanted to sell your business tomorrow, and all of your candidates, your contacts, your notes are in a spreadsheet and they're not on your CRM, you haven't got a business to sell.
Yeah.
But if you can create a valuable business based upon a growing CRM with returning clients and everything logged, that is then a valuable recruitment business.
I honestly, like, anyone that says, oh, well, I barely use my CRM and I'm a top biller and I'm doing really well, you will be missing out on things. And it's little things like, say you're a perm consultant, storing, intel from a candidate that's had an interview so you can prep your other candidates well. And with business development, little bits of the conversation that you can bring into the next conversation. You will forget those things.
Yeah,
you will. You're a person, you're naturally going to.
The top billers that I know and I see within the businesses that I work with and the clients that I work with, they write full notes on the system, and they use relevant searching to speak to the right people at the right time, which is what a CRM is helping us do.
Yeah. I'm really sorry. I can't see who this is. My StreamYard does this sometimes, just as LinkedIn user, so I can't see who you are. I'm really sorry, but thank you for commenting. Can't understand how a recruiter can work without a CRM. It would make your job extremely hard, especially if you've got if you can imagine, it's the candidates build up and the clients build up and that list gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, I'd find it really stressful, actually. I'd find it really stressful.
Yeah, I think it probably could be done. I wouldn't advise it, because it'd be very, very.
It can be done, but don't do it.
Yeah. And I think what would happen is it would be, I've got a job for an accountant. So you're going to go and find all those people for that accountant role. You fill the role, hopefully. Then in 2 weeks' time, you've got another accountant role, exactly the same criteria. And you basically got to repeat that entire process again. Another job advert. You haven't got that pool of candidates. So yeah, I don't know how it could be done, and I would not advise it. So that CRM is the most important part. Get it right. Use it.
Yeah. It actually makes me feel a little bit unwell just thinking about what life would be like as a recruiter without a CRM.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
But people do. So, oh, we've got Alex Dick watching. 2 of my faves in one place.
Oh, thanks, Alex.
Up to us. You want something? That's what I think. Right, let's go to question 2, because this is something I want to understand and learn more about, because I'm a bit bloody clueless with this as well, and I know some people watching will want to know, like, what does a good tech stack look like? Because again, you're going in and seeing agencies doing this really well, so what would be the answer to this one?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with one word of advice. It's going to caveat everything that I'm about to say. Basically, you need to create one sort of single source of truth, like we've just said about the CRM. If you get a product that is over here, over here, over here, over here, and over here, and every time you want to mass email your candidates, or I don't make a phone call or do a GDPR cleanse or invite them to an event, if you have to take data out of your database and put it somewhere else, it's not going to give you the results that you need. If you've got data being stored outside of your CRM, it's not an ideal scenario. So where possible, create everything that links in with your CRM, because it's going to make your life so much easier. I've recently been exploring a really good piece of software, actually, that is about sort of various scoring, net promoter scores and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely brilliant product, but it didn't integrate with the CRM that we were using with my client. And I said to them, well, what's going to happen if we get a 1-star review? Obviously, hopefully that wouldn't happen. And then we call them 20 minutes later saying, hi, I've got a new job for you, because that data is not in one place. And I said, look, it's a great product, but we need it in one place. So where possible, build your tech and build out your technology in one place. For me, there are 3 crucial parts of any good tech stack. That is, number 1, obviously, your CRM. And I'm not going to go into that. We've just discussed that. CRM is number 1. Number 2 now is normally your phone system. So this could be just a mobile phone that you use within the business. This could be a text messaging feature or text messaging. This could just be like a cloud-based phone system. But the phone system, which is the way we normally communicate with our candidates, is the way.
So.
I hope so. Is probably the second most important thing. And then the third part is, where are you going to get your candidates from? That could be LinkedIn Recruiter. That could be job adverts. That could be like a CV parser, like they apply and they come through via something like Logic Melon. So you need to have the CRM to pull these candidates and store them and know who to contact and when. You need to communicate with them on the phone, and then you need to have the technology and the tools to reach out to these candidates. Now that is, for me, the 3, like the holy trinity of what you need as a recruiter. And that's where I would advise any business to start. And that's what you need to get right. So if you're looking to improve your technology or you want to get more results, start with those 3 pieces of tech. Now, there are loads of stuff that you can buy. There's literally hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of pieces of recruitment technology out there that you can use to implement and improve your candidate attraction, your client experience, all of this. But for me, unless you get these 3 crucial things right, the rest is kind of not necessarily going to work. So really drill down into that. But on that note, another sort of piece of advice I'd say is, I'm having a lot of conversations at the moment, and I've had a couple of calls recently, and someone has literally just picked up the phone and said, hi, Holly, I need to invest in AI. What should I buy? And I've gone, okay, don't invest in AI, because you probably already have it. So rather than going out and Googling AI recruitment tools, call your phone system, call your CRM, call your candidate
That's
source.
a cool thumbs up. Where did that come from?
I know. I've got a new Mac, and it does all these random things. I was having a very serious conversation with someone the other day, and a whole load of balloons appeared behind my head. I'm not sure how, and I've not been able to replicate it again. But yeah, comes up from me there. I didn't really believed in what I was just saying about AI. So yeah, so call your CRM, call your phone system, and call your candidate sourcing places, like for example LinkedIn, and say, what AI or automation can I use within your platform? 9 times out of 10, there is AI and automation already in there that you can use, probably for free. So stop buying random other add-ons. Use what you've already got. And that is how you can harness that, because it's already within one place. And that is really going to help you. So AI is great. There's loads of good products out there. But I really, really would advise, before you spend your hard-earned money on it, try and start off using what is already in that. And if you can get AI within your CRM, your phone system, and your candidate sourcing, that is going to help. LinkedIn has recently released loads more AI features. And
I've noticed that. when you're writing a post, it's got like the thing underneath, like, do you want AI to help
Yeah.
you or whatever?
And
I
if
think
you,
at the moment there's a lot of people that are getting drawn towards the shiny new AI stuff and think that that's, I don't know, going to help them do things easier. And I think they get drawn to it. Whereas you said sometimes it's slowing down, taking a step back and like investigating what you've currently got access to, that where it's integrated. But I think, like you said then, I've never thought about it with my business. I've got my CRM and then I use MailChimp
yeah,
for like email marketing, but it's not integrated into my CRM. So I've got data that I need to keep on top of there, data I need to keep on top of in HubSpot. Other CRMs do exist, by the way.
yeah.
And it's a
And
bit of
that's
a nightmare.
And like, let's pretend there was a scenario. Let's say you've emailed me about your services or a course or a webinar you're doing, and I've opened that email 25 times and I've clicked the link, but for one reason or other I've not got in contact. If you stumbled across that in your CRM, you'd think, oh crikey, maybe I should call Holly because she might be really interested, or I'm going to send her that email because she's already kind of quite warm because she's opened this quite a lot of times. And just because someone's opened an email isn't necessarily a buying signal, but it might mean that I'll be more likely to engage with you. And
Well, they're
you
more
don't know
aware of
that.
me, aren't they?
Exactly. So it's all about just having that in for me in one place and really harnessing the power of it. Like AI is changing the industry on a daily basis, and the majority of it is out there is pretty good. And we've just got to use it so it really works for us and our business, which I think is pretty crucial, rather than just kind of putting stuff out there that's not great quality. So you really harness the power of AI. I'm not saying you don't have to have loads of experience in using it, but it isn't, you still got to customize it. Like if you said to ChatGPT, right, go in and write me a LinkedIn in-mail to advertise this event we're on now, what it's going to pull out is probably 60, 70, 80% okay, which is great. But you need to go in and you need to add your personality and your style to finish that off. So if you're using AI within your tech stack, please don't just use what is out of the box. Harness it so it sounds like you and it's personalized to what you need as a user.
We've got a really good question come in that I wanted to bring up from Jamie Stevenson. Hi, Jamie. What would your priorities wish list be from a new CRM tendering process?
Hey, and that is a very good question. So first of all, I would make sure that you ask every provider the same questions. Okay. So we love a demo, and it's very easy in the demos they're quite overwhelming. And you can very easily kind of get to the end of the hour or half an hour and you're like, well, okay, we've seen a lot, but you don't necessarily have followed a pattern. So my first piece of advice for you on this is come up with a list of questions, which I'll help you out with in a minute, and ask them to everybody, track their answers so you can refer back to them. So that's number one. Number two is if you're having demos, make sure they get recorded. So then you can refer back to them. You probably won't be able to get consultants, head of marketing, ops, CEO, head of sales in all of the demos, and it wouldn't necessarily be right, but get those demos and sent over so you can send them around to other people. But there's a few key things I would look into. Firstly, this is probably the most important one, is about training and implementation. Now, these systems are incredibly complicated. And you need to find out exactly what the training and implementation process looks like and how much it's going to be, because sometimes they end up shoving that on at the end. If you're getting a CRM and they're saying to you, yeah, you're going to get a 2-hour training session on week one, that's not okay. Please don't accept that. You need to have training over, I'd say, at least a few weeks, maybe even a few months to make this work. And you need to make sure that the right people in your business are being upskilled. The way a marketing manager is going to be trained is going to be different to how your finance team get trained, which is going to be different to how your sales team get trained. So you need to make sure the training is giving you what you need so you can get the most out of it. So that's tip number one. The other priority would be around probably AI and automation. AI and automation, as I've just been saying, is key in the industry right now. So how are the CRMs going to support you with that further? What automation is already in that platform? Is this something that can is it already in there, or would you need an external provider or external supplier to give you that product? So really look into the automation and AI element to understand what that looks like and how that can be used in the coming sort of months and years. I'd also ask about their support. No CRM is going to be perfect, and the majority of CRMs are really editable, and we often need to rely on support to help and guide us through those processes so we can get the settings right so they work for you. So you need to understand what level of support is there. How do you communicate with support? What are the turnaround times? If you raise a ticket with them, what is the average turnaround time? I expect an average turnaround time for a CRM support company to be less than 12 hours. So get that information from them so you make sure that you are supported throughout your implementation and through to the years and years later that you're hopefully still using that. So that's a really key one about the support. I'll also look into just the general implementation and migration of data. Often we have lots and lots of unclean data on our CRM. So what happens if you're migrating from one CRM to another one? How can you do that successfully? Are they going to clean up the data for you? Do you need to do it before you move? Should you move and then use automation to tidy up? What is the best thing around that data and the migration and tidying up of that? So I hope that gives you some really key tips.
That was a really good question.
If you need any more tips or advice or questions, just reach out, drop me a LinkedIn message, and I'll give you some more tips around that as well.
And before we come, we have got another question which I'll come to now, but something just came to my mind then. When you mentioned training, I'm just going to mention it really quickly. I've gone into agencies before where the consultants are doing the training for whatever CRM they're doing, and it's a load of videos, they're pre-recorded, everybody learns differently, and they're quite long videos. And I'm in the room sometimes with them, or they're feeding back to me, and they're not paying attention to it fully. They're finding it boring. You've got to make sure if you're getting sent videos, you're in charge of how they digest it. Get them to watch a little bit, go and get them to practice it. Watch a little bit more, go and practice it. Because if you just say, yeah, go and watch those videos, and now you should be able to use the system, it's not going to work. You've got to break everything down. And, if you've got an external training provider and getting them involved, that's partly everyone's job. But if as the manager and owner of the business, or their billing managers, the team managers, you can't just expect them to, they can use the system now. It's about making sure they're practicing and using it. Let's come to the next question. So because obviously it's quite a big, we've already been speaking, there's so many different parts to it. It can be quite overwhelming, can't it? How can you successfully implement recruitment tech?
Yeah, so I could talk about this for years. So one of the ways, for me, the best way to describe this, and I'm really sorry to say this, is implementation is never over. Okay. I know that sounds a bit dramatic, but it is never over. And here's why: because of the reasons we've just said, the business needs are changing, consultants are coming and going, AI and automation is changing, the system is changing. So you can never just go, I've implemented this, it's done, next. That doesn't happen. The answer is what I call CSI, continual software implementation. And that is making sure that your teams, and no matter who they are, marketing, sales, finance, are constantly trained on the things that they need to be trained on. Don't worry, they're not going to have a 2-hour session every week. But once you've done that successful initial implementation with being led by the provider over a course of a few weeks and a few months, you need to make sure that you continue to upskill your teams on this. So you need to, firstly, I think, understand more about what their pain points are, what currently isn't working on the system, and you need to teach them in the best way possible. Now, I've literally just got off a session when we were talking about searching for candidates, and I said to them, right, guys, what role are you struggling to hire at the moment? They went blah, blah, blah. Oh, and it's a 30-mile radius from X. And I was like, okay, right, let's find 500 candidates who we can search for in a couple of different ways. So we did this search, we did this search, we did this search. So now it's not technically an implementation, it was more of a training session, but they've now found new ways to search, which they didn't even know existed before. So I've taught something new, and that's what this is always about. But the best thing that you can do is work with your technology providers and treat your customer success managers and your account managers like they're a part of your business. If you really want to successfully implement this and all of your technology, specifically your CRM phone system and where you're getting your candidates from, you should be speaking to these customer success managers on what I think is a monthly basis. Every month, you should be calling, for example, your LinkedIn account manager and saying, how am I doing? How am I benchmarking about my competitors? What's new on the platform? When I was in my role as head of operations, I rang up our account manager on the 2nd of January and I said, just to let you know, LinkedIn needs to make us £1 million this year. Or maybe was it 2? Whatever it was. I was like, you need to make us £2 million this year. How are we going to do that? So I told her what I was trying to achieve, and she was like, oh my God, yeah, okay, yeah, we can do this. And the truth was we weren't far away from it, but we made some really small wins that then really helped the team. So just constantly trying to understand.
Partnering with them, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. And just understanding what you're not doing, what you are doing, and making it the forefront of your business. You need to make sure that people are saying, and you're not necessarily reporting, but you're tracking usage. Right, guys, no one sent any text messages, but you've got text messages here. So let's use text messages because we know that's how Gen Z wants to be communicated with. So really looking at the usage, understanding the features, liaising with the suppliers and the account managers, and making the most of it. I hope that answers the question.
No, it's good. No, and I'm going to come back to you for a top tip because I know you've got a really good one to share. But before I do, just a roundup of what the next episode will be. So it will be on I didn't write the date down. I always do this. The 20th of March. I've remembered. I know now why, because it's the 20th of March. Now I know for some of us, I know me and Holly will be there. You're going to the expo, aren't you?
I am, yep.
Yeah. I know for some of you watching, you'll be thinking, how are you going to go live when you're at the expo? Well, the truth is the next episode will not be live. It will be pre-recorded, but in no way am I going to edit it. So when you watch it, believe me, it will be as good as live, basically. So I've got James Whitelock on with me from Think in Circles. He's the founder of Think in Circles. So it's a marketing themed show. And we're going to be talking about marketing funnels. So the title is around, I can't even read my own bloody writing now. This is how bad it's got. We're talking about traditional marketing strategies and why they no longer work in 2024. So he's going to be sharing loads of new tips, innovative tips, and all of this obviously links highly with sales. So I'm really looking forward to this one. We're recording it next week, but it'll be live as normal, 12:30 on the 20th of March. Right, I got there in the end of that one, didn't I? So I need to, my writing is, look, scribbles, can't even read it. Right, let's come back to your top tip before we finish. Got a couple of minutes. Top tip from you, harness the power of your CRM. I bet nobody could guess we were going to mention the CRM again today.
I know. I feel like I've just banged on about this for half an hour, but like honestly,
no, it's true though.
It's the truth. And I think if you're watching this and you're a sales consultant, turn around, get on the phone, get on Teams, walk over to your operations or head of sales' desk right now and say, I want more training on this. So I can use it more. I want to be the top biller in my business. How can I maximize our database more? If you are marketing, ops, CEO, whatever your role is, in the sort of the back office sort of side of stuff, call your account managers and say, we need to elevate what we're doing on our system right now. What else can we do? How can we do this? The CRM is the most important part of your business. So make the most of it. This is where people can have real success or they can make the most mistakes. keep it simple, and really elevate the tools, the functionality, and the knowledge from your account managers and customer success managers that are there. And that is really what is going to get your recruitment business ready for growth in 2024.
Yeah, no, I'm fully with you on that one. Anyone watching, whether it's live or you're streaming it after, go and follow Holly on LinkedIn. She's on the event as a speaker, so you can easily connect with her. Jamie, for example, if you've still got questions around the CRM and tendering process, go just contact Holly. Anyone watching with more questions, go to her. I can't speak today. What is wrong with me? Follow a YouTube channel. I follow it myself. She shares loads of amazing tips all the time. Also, what's your Instagram handle?
I think it's Holly. Type in Holly Langley or Restack, and I will probably
We'll
appear.
put it on the LinkedIn comments. We'll add it on there after. But yeah, you know, she's given loads of value today, but believe me, she's got loads more value to talk to you about. So go to her with any of your questions. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching today. If anyone's at the expo as well, I'm going to be there. Holly's going to be there. So if you see us, grab us and we can have a chat about stuff as well. But thank you so much for coming on, Holly. And everybody watching, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.